Well, g'day Northlight. I'm here with Michael Callaghan, and we've just finished Sunday morning church, and we thought we'd grab Michael for a few minutes. You may not know that Michael works with GAFCON Australia and has been working pretty hard behind the scenes as well on a conference that's coming up for the whole of the GAFCON movement in Kigali. So I might just ask Michael a couple of questions just for your prayers in the end. But Michael, just a little bit about GAFCON, and then something has happened in England about a month ago, which has impacted the conference, which has been planned for a few years. So take us to GAFCON, who it is, what it is, for those that don't know, and then a bit of that recent history in England.
Sure. GAFCON is a movement of global Anglicans that's looking to see the Anglican Church renewed throughout the world and looking to see that happen. And so GAFCON Australia is part of that global movement. And so the second part of the question?
There's some recent history in England that has turned out to be quite an impact on the way the conference is planning out. Because you've been planning this conference for a few years to get together and talk about things. So what's happened in England?
Well, look, England, of course, is home of the Anglican Church worldwide, and a lot of people look back with missionary, colonial, historical links to the Archbishop of Canterbury, and so England's kind of always had that mother church connection throughout the world, and that's felt much more strongly in some places than others. You know, I think Australians like to kind of joke about the English, but through Africa, there's a really strong kind of interesting colonial relationship there. So great honour and respect that's been given to England, but the Church of England is going through the same kind of turmoil that we're seeing in the Anglican Church all through the West. And so it, in its General Synod just recently, has been grappling with the issue of blessing of same-sex marriages and what they should do there, what direction they should head. And it's taken the same kind of step that the Anglican Church in Australia has taken through the Appellate Tribunal to say that blessings can now take place, that God blesses this thing, that this isn't sin, that we need to rethink what it means to be human, and that's caused great consternation for Bible-loving Anglicans in England and people in the Anglican community throughout the world. So much so that some of the bishops are saying, look, we think that the Archbishop of Canterbury has actually failed in his leadership here, that we're no longer walking in the same direction, that we can't have the same kind of fellowship.
That's huge.
Strong.
That's huge. It's to say the Anglican Church has now very much got two kind of messages. And it's not simply the blessing of same-sex marriage, it's how you approach the Bible, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and so that really is the presenting issue, but you dig underneath it just a bit, and you're right to say there's two messages, two gospels, two different ways of seeing, how the church is to be in the world. Is it that the gospel is one of just saying, God includes everyone, and our message is that everyone is included, and then that's it, full stop? Or are we called in following Jesus to a life of repentance and faith and trusting him, and so it's the gospel of the West of just the inclusion, which sounds a lot like just the secular diversity values that we have in workplaces all the time, or the historical understanding of the church when it comes to the authority of the scriptures.
So not only have Christians found it hard to live in a workplace that is going in that direction, okay, that's fine, you understand. But now the church has got two different messages, and so the reaction, I guess, when the mother of the Anglican Church in England has affirmed this, the reaction globally, my understanding is like 75, represented by up to 75% of the world's Anglicans are saying no to England. Is that right?
Yeah. And so the average Anglican in the world today is a South Sudanese woman living in poverty. So it's a very different kind of model than what most people would think. Look, where this goes, we don't know, and so there'll be over 100 Australians going across, over 1,000 gathering globally
in Kigali,
which is in Rwanda, which is in Africa. For those needing a map. And we're meeting for a week, and it'd be great to have people praying for that time, that we'll approach it, with humility, listening to others who are there, wanting to see God honoured through this whole process. And I look forward to coming back and kind of saying where things head.
See what happens at the conference. Well, we thought since Michael's here, it might be a chance to update all of us on what is happening on the global Anglican kind of side of things. So we'll hear back from Michael when he comes back. When is that conference? Just to...
the week after Easter. So
Right.
and then it runs for the week. I should say too. Yes, I've done some things to organise it. The one really driving it though is someone a lot of you will know and love. That's Daniel Willis.
Yes.
And so he's really doing the global work of drawing together all sorts of people. So please keep him.
Yeah, pray for him. So he works with GAFCON International. You work with GAFCON Australia.
Yeah.
So hence there's obvious overlap there.
But you know, the Archbishop will be there. Bishops from around the country will be there, and so you know, pray for them in their interactions as well.
And for us that we love people and follow Jesus, and sometimes knowing how that works is hard, but we can't ignore both.
Yeah, and look, I think getting the wisdom of the rest of the world as well in this,
Anglican world.
Yeah, that we don't just let this kind of contemporary issue for us define what it means to follow Jesus. There'll be plenty of Christians there who come from places where the church is under terrible persecution, or for whom the threat is not secularism, but is that of a very militant Islam, and there's very real present dangers for their children even coming to church. You know, so that those kind of things feed into.
So prayer for the conference, prayer for those travelling, prayer for other kinds of issues going on for many Anglicans, and there's a lot of pain, isn't there, over this issue, but there's a lot of pain for Christians around the world.
Yeah, and I think that particularly for the English, and I know there'll be a lot of people here at Northlight who've done the expat thing, or have been part of English churches, or have got friends over there and that kind of thing. The church there is really hurting and really thrown and doesn't know what to do. You know, so pray that we can be alongside them, praying for them as they are with us.
Friends, as you press pause or end this video, maybe you could just take a few minutes to pray for all those things, but also for our brother Michael and for Dan Willis, because they are serving so well. Thank you.